Hi, this is Andres Aya with Aya Percussion. I'm bringing you the Chop 13 quick review. So this is meant for drumline auditions, or if you've been taught the Chop 13 for a while now, but we're looking to review some of the things that I want to see in auditions, or we want to see performed on the Chop 13 at its highest level. I want to see a mark time throughout this, so we're going to talk about that a little bit. Also, I'm probably going to see this in traditional grip if you're trying out for snare, or possibly if the snare line is match, or tenor line, I'm going to see match. I'm going to be demonstrating match grip for today, but again, all this can be done with traditional grip as well. Now, traditional grip, when you're in the up position for the first 4 exercises, isn't going to be quite open like we are in the match grip hand, because you can't just leave it open there. So you're going to give me as much wrist turn as you can and make sure the stick is returning as high as you can. As far as mark time goes, make sure mark time is small, but it is articulated. So that means if this is the floor and this is your foot, you're picking it up just a little bit. You have natural bend in your knee, and you're letting your body flow into this. It is not rigid and stiff. It's got to have flow to it. Make it look easy. Just like our hands, we want it to look easy, have flow, and be relaxed. We don't want to overplay, so we don't want to overmark time either. So make everything seem smooth and easy. Our tempo at the beginning is 120. Eventually move up to 160 for 11, 12, and 13. So we're going to start with the first one. So full strokes. What I want to be seeing, that your hands are in the up position, and we're allowing the stick to come back up without any hesitation. Okay, so make sure that your pinky is around the stick. Don't let it get too straight. And we want to make sure that we can feel the vibration of the stick. We see the stick coming up on its own, almost like if you bounce the ball, it comes up on its own. I don't see any stoppage down here. You got to let it get all the way back. And of course, we're trying to match at the top. So don't let one be higher than the other. Okay, make sure you're matching. And you're thinking about throwing and catching the stick. Make sure you're matching height throughout and being aware that your heights match, because that's going to affect your sound. That's pretty much what we're looking at here. This is pretty simple. Here we go. 1, 2, left, right, left, right. And when you stop, make sure your fingers are touching the stick, and we don't have any of this going on. Okay, I see a lot of kids are pulling their pinky off. Make sure your fingers are around the stick but open and relaxed. Okay, number 2, 8/16. We want to see the exact same techniques. Obviously, we're adding 16th notes. Okay, and right hand flow. Okay, just make sure they match at the top, and we're using the same techniques as number 1. After the last 2 notes, they're both still open, and then we're going to close it down for number 3. But make sure you finish open, and then we'll close it. Okay? All right, here we go. 8/16. 1, 3, left, right, left, right. Then we'll close it. Okay, double triple. Now we want to see some push-pull technique, which means we're going to start with the fingers closed, but our wrist is turned up. We want to make sure we bounce the stick on the first stroke, and that lets our fingers open up to a full stroke position. And then we're going to close our fingers and bend our wrist, not our arm. So you have to think about a lot on that second stroke. Close the fingers and turn the wrist. See, from this position. Always come back up to the same height, okay? I want to see you do those push-pulls when we're doing the padadas and the dadapas and the doubles at the end. So when we get to the end, make sure your left hand is still doing push-pull, okay? And when we're doing dadapas, in the third measure of the second line, your right hand has that push-pull, okay? And then on the doubles, of course, we want to control that. Another thing I see in auditions is people having a hard time with their feet during this hemiola. So triple it, triple it, triple it, triple it, left, right, left. You got to make sure you can do that. Now I would start with quarter note triplets as your check. Okay, so if your feet are going left, right, ready, go, left, 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 left. So every 3 beats is on the left foot. So it's going to be left foot, left foot, left foot, left foot, left. Okay, but that switches from right hand to left hand, of course, because you're playing quarter note triplets. Then put doubles in there, but keep taking quarter note triplets. Triplet, 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 stop. Every time we say tri, that's your left foot, and line it up. Trip, triplet, 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 so that's another way you can practice that. You can make sure you're reading the music. The fourth measure stops on a dotted quarter note on beat 4. The only other thing you have to think about in these padadas and dadapas is you have a single hand. That's just doing this. And then you have a double. Okay, that flips on the third, fourth measure of the second line. But at this tempo, you don't really need to use your fingers for that. So if you're doing a double, it's a push-pull. If you're doing a single, it's a nice, even wrist stroke. You don't really need fingers for that. So you should see fingers closed in one hand and push-pull in the other. So look at my right hand. It's just doing this. Fingers are closed. I'm just turning my wrist. And the left hand is doing all the push-pull. Then when you do the third and fourth measure on the dadapa, your right hand's doing the push-pull and your left's on the li. 1 la li, 2 la li, 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 li. Okay, and that's just a dotted quarter note on the third partial. And again, that's just wrist, and I'm not using my finger for that. I don't need to grab for a single note. Okay, other than that, this is a stick-controlled preview. So make sure as you're playing these, it all sounds the same. And nothing's late. It should all sound like one hand, okay? It's harder than it looks. Here we go. Start with your wrist up, fingers closed, open, and then close it. Here we go. 1, 3, 1, 2, ready, go. So Gallop is working on push-pull as well, but now we're in a duple and a much faster pace. So instead of triple it, it's going to be 1 into 2 into 3 into 4, much quicker on the grab. Yet you don't want to squeeze it too hard and ruin your flow. Now, speaking of flow, we start with check here, and the whole exercise should have this constant right left, right left, right left, and you're just going to insert doubles into that flow. Okay. Of course, you want to make sure it's rhythmically accurate, da 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 da, or pa da 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 da. But this is a constant motion that you should see and match your heights. Okay, it's a simple 4-2-1 pattern. You get 4 doubles in your right, and then 4 doubles in your left. And you want to push-pull those. Okay. Right now, we're not working on drag motions. So I don't want you trying to do the 2-for-1. See, it's kind of weak instead of. So I want you to produce this. Okay, all right, let's go. 1, 3, 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, from here we're going to go into the down position. Now we're at 10 degrees right here. We're going to go 10 degrees down. We want our hand over the bead. Okay, so we have leverage over the stick. Again, we have our American grip still. We have the bead to the elbow in one line, and our thumb slightly on top. Wrists are about a 45-degree doing American grip. Okay, so we're doing buzzes and drags coming up. So this is very much from the arm. So it's time to wake up this arm muscle. Okay, we're going to move the arm like this. Okay, we're going to let go in the back here. We don't want the stick touching the back of the hand and putting pressure on the stick, and then we don't hear a nice pure buzz. So we need to have some freedom here, but we don't want the fingers fly off. So you're holding the stick normally, and then boop, just open up a little bit and give that freedom to the stick. Don't let the stick start coming over here. Keep it in line where you can just grab it, okay? Because the second half is going to start to be open and closed, and you need to have it right there and learn that you don't need to do anything crazy, okay? Make sure you're playing the same height here. We're going to play nice and low for buzzes. I like to try to get 3 multiple bounces. Get it. Okay, because when you put that together, it's going to be a nice, even buzz. Okay, common mistake is kids get higher on the check. Make it all the same height. From the arm. Okay, try to make sure you don't hear the rhythm. Try to smooth it out. Find that pressure where you're getting 3 notes on each hand so it sounds nice and smooth and connected. 1, 1, 3, left, right, ready, go. Make sure the last note isn't accented. It's the same color, same height. As you can see, I was opening and closing at the end, but you could barely tell. And then another common mistake is kids, as soon as you start to do the buzz, they leave their fingers open the whole time. You have to show them that you can open and close open when you're supposed to. Drags is the same idea. It's just a little bit higher, less pressure because you're trying to get 2 notes now. Okay, and you got to try to get the perfect interpretation on this too, so it sounds like a rhythm at the end. It should sound like 30-second note singles. Okay, here we go. 1, 3, 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, fold down, tap up. Make sure we're playing with a nice full stroke on the first 3 accents, and then the 4th one's a downstroke. So we're going to close our fingers down, keep the thumb on top, don't let the stick bounce, and don't let the wrist accidentally lift up. So, okay, and then we're going to fill it in with taps and upstrokes after that. Low, 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 full, 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 down, low, 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 low. Okay, make sure we don't get like a decrescendo. We want high, 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 freeze, low, 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 low. Okay, when we get to the 3rd and 4th measure, you have a full stroke, then a downstroke immediately, then a tap, and then up. So all the stroke types. And both. When we get to the end here, you have full, full. So make sure you let this rebound. A lot of people are thinking about the downstrokes too much, and they don't let that open up. And then downstroke, freeze it, and then you have tap, tap, and then you have up, up, and you start again. This is harder than it looks to get the heights right. A lot of kids are here. That's not where it's at. So it's all about knowing when the downstrokes are. So I want you to practice this with just your accents. You know the last accents are going to be downstrokes. So you're going to go full, 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 freeze. And really check your downstroke. Did it really freeze? Are you still on top of the stick where you can control that? If your hand's on top, it's going to give you leverage down on the downstroke. Okay, and then when we get to the end, freeze, full, full, down, down. Full, full, down, down. You can really check your full, full, and your down, down. And make sure you're actually doing that. If you do that, you should get 4 the same height. And then you freeze. Okay, good luck. This is harder than you think if you're really trying to get the heights right, which is what matters. 1, 3, 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, we're on the 2nd page now. For full down doubles, we want to make sure we have this nice low height that's nice and calm. And then we have to learn how to push, pull, and freeze down. Okay, so I would practice this with no accents and make sure you can actually do that sticking. Right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, and you're doing this push, pulls and make sure it sounds the same. Make sure you're good with that first. Then try just the accents. Right, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left. This is pretty quick for a push, pull. Okay, and then we're going to combine it. We want to make sure those inner beats don't rise up, okay, like this. We don't want that. We want it low. All right, here we go. Let's try it. 1, 3, 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, down up. So in down ups, we want to make sure our fingers are closed the whole time. This is isolating downstrokes, tap strokes, and upstrokes. So really, you don't have any full strokes. So we don't need our fingers open at all for this. So I want you to keep your fingers closed and think of this as just a height change in your wrist. Okay. This is a good way to focus on when we have an isolated accent. We do not need to open our fingers. So it's just a wrist turn. We don't have to hit too hard. We get the downstroke in right away. Okay, so this is very simple. Keep your fingers closed. And make sure you're getting a pure downstroke, and make sure your inner beats are nice and low. When it gets more dense on the 16th notes, it's going to be really easy to lose track of your heights, and then it gets here, and it needs to be down here. We're just dropping that in, not 3 heights, but 2 highs, a high, low, low. So you can also practice this with just your accents and really isolate that your downstrokes are happening. You don't measure 3 and 4, you should see a pause there because technically you're going to drop a little inner beat in between. Okay, not here. All right, here we go. 1, 3, 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, pair jams is a level up here. We're going to have a lot of different muscles that we've been working on all happen at the same time. So specifically, we have these push-pulls that are down here. We get to the paradiddle, para-push-pull, para-push-pull. But we have accents before. For accents, since it's a single accent, you're not going to open your fingers, but very quickly after you have this push-pull. So we're really trying to work on that idea of not opening our fingers for the accent and then quickly dropping our fingers in for the double. Okay? You're going to start to get them mixed up probably and open your fingers for the accents. That's going to make your downstroke not effective and you're going to end up here for your push-pull and it's going to be way too high. We need to get your wrist over the bead on that downstroke and then drop it in so we have leverage over the stick. Okay, so I want you to really think about on all these accents, don't open your fingers when you lift, downstroke it, then drop it in. Okay, now if it's not a double, it's still down here matching the tone. Okay, so we're really going for heights here. So it's easier at the beginning, the downstroke without finger there, but then we start to open the fingers there. And I think about not even using my wrist for those push-pulls. I'm just going to drop them in. When you start to think about lifting your wrist for that double, you usually overplay anyway. And when you execute those push-pulls, it'll end up around 3 inches anyway, which is what you want. So don't even lift your wrist for the doubles. So you have down push-pull, down push-pull, down push-pull, down push-pull, down push-pull, down push-pull. You gotta make sure you downstroke without any finger and then use your finger. So this is gonna require some coordination here. All right, let's go for it. 1, 3, 1, 2, ready, go. As soon as we finish pair jams, the tempo is going to shift to 160. So make sure your feet are ready for that tempo shift. Now, when we get to these last 2 exercises, these are very relaxed, rebound-oriented exercises. These are the muscles we're going to use when we're playing very quick excerpts. We're really shifting from muscle to muscle very quickly. So this is going to be, in general, very legato. So you're going to keep your fingers open for the most part. Okay, so right away we start with this rebound. And then on the last note, we're going to switch to a drag. Okay? So you're going from front fulcrum open to your drag fulcrum to your thumb and first and middle finger. So you have to be able to switch. And then you're going to put a little bit of arm in there too. So make sure you're ready. Also, I think it's important to connect the drag to the next hand. So be able to switch at the same height, but you got to make that connection. In other words, you can't be late on the hand that's about to play. Oh, I should have lifted already and I didn't. Gotta get used to switching. So maybe just isolate the first and last notes. So go 1, do that, do that, do that. Again, same height. Of course, at the end there, you're gonna end up playing what's actually written. So you might want to work on the last part by taking out the drag and feel how smooth those doubles are, and then try to sneak in the double only on one hand and the other. And you don't want to lose the flow on these doubles. You're going to want to stop because you're thinking about the drag on the other hand. You have to be able to flow and not have any hesitation on a downstroke, or if you're lifting late. You want to make sure everything's flowing, okay? It has some natural arm, and you want to make sure you're always moving to the next note. No pausing. All right, here we go. 1, 3, 1, 2, ready, go. right, 12, Moeller, whip, and flop. So Moeller is supposed to help us with our speed when we have accents. So when we're playing something very fast, we can't downstroke anymore because you don't have time to cut off rebound. So your hands are going to be open the whole time. And the accent's actually going to come from your arm all the way to the beat. So you're kind of making this wave, okay? And you're going to lift your arm and then lift your wrist and then lift the stick, okay? All right, now the way I kind of think about this is the wrist thinks that rebound is occurring the whole time. It stays open the whole time. And to produce the accents, it's just a lift of the arm and there's just kind of a domino effect. Okay, so that means you could be playing still while you're lifting. So it cannot be out here to the side. That's a common mistake is people just go here and think they're doing it. It's got to be from the back to the front, like a whip. This is a weird advanced muscle, so you're going to have to really work on this slowly. I'm going to do this from the side so you can see it. You really got to get your arm active here. Okay, so your inner beats will be a little bit higher on this because you're using rebound. And that's okay because we're working on a different muscle right now. We already worked on our downstrokes at a slower tempo. Okay, so you're going to want to downstroke, but we're not doing that. Keep your fingers open and just allow the natural height of the arm create the accent. Here we go. 1, 3, 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, number 13, Moeller, whip, and stops, which is halftime. So this is 1 E enda, 2 E enda, 3 E enda, 4 E enda. But at the speed we're going, you can treat it as 8 notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So basically this is Moeller whip, but we don't continue after. So the other ones, we would glide through the rebound. Now we're going to work on stopping on the last note. I would work on this with just your accent and first note after the accent and really get the sticking. Right, left, left, right, 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 right, left, right. Then at the end, of course, you end up playing as written. So we're going to kind of talk about a little bit how to work on this at the end in a second here. All right, so you're going to play a downstroke and then switch to the left. When these lefts are playing, you've got to engage your arm and make sure by the time you get to the accent, you finish that whip. Okay, so right, left, whip, left, right, whip, right. Okay, so that's the idea. That gets shorter and shorter. I know that when we got to number 11 quick drags, we went to 160, but technically this is 80. Last line is what we're working toward with Moeller, whip, and stop. Going and figuring out this inverted motion. This is challenging, okay? So right away, you're just doing this Moeller whip for every double. Okay, so you might want to practice double, triple, number 3 in the chop 13, going from a low note to a high note. Da, 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 and downstroking on the accent. And you'll learn that when you pick up your arm, you accidentally hit the drum, and then you get, of course, the downstroke on the accent. So it's like the low note is just an accident because of your lifting your arm. All right, so make it one motion instead of two motions. Okay, so once you figure that out, you can do this slowly and really figure out. Again, you can do one beat, right, left, left, right, right, and then 2 beats until you can get it up to tempo. All right, so good luck. Here we go. 1, 3, 1, 2, ready, go.